blocked by Ricky Young, and Robert Miller carries it in.
Watch this block.
Nice to see a running back block as well.
Cut him down like a tree.
Yes, it is. That's probably the only way he's going to play for the Vikings. Bud Grant believes in all-around backs.
First series on offense, the Vikings score in the third quarter. Changes the morale, changes the tempo of the ball game.
Second touchdown rushing for Robert Miller. And now we'll see about the point after by Dan Meyer. It is good. And suddenly the Vikings have turned it around as we take another look at Miller's run and Ricky Young's great block on Cornell Webster. Look at there. It is 21-19 Minnesota. 6:42 to go in the third quarter. 24-year-old Mike Wood, a rookie out of Southeast Missouri State, will be kicking off for Minnesota. You have Rufus Crawford and Al Hunter deep for Seattle on their 5. And Wood gets one down the right side. It'll be Rufus Crawford from his own 2 to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, and across the 30. Rufus Crawford is a rookie out of Virginia State. He was a free agent, 23 years old. Boy, he can move it. Talking about moving it, you've been moving it all week. Why not get a chair, get comfortable, and look at that CBS lineup tonight. First of all, everybody's favorite show, the hard-hitting 60 Minutes, followed by Mary Tyler Moore and a trip to a singles bar. Then more laughter with All in the Family and Alice, and capping it off, that great new drama, Kaz. We'll see on CBS tonight. Great lineup. First and 10 on the Hawk 31. And it's Testerman running into a Minnesota team meeting. He gets out across the 35.
Well, the pressure is on Zorn and the offense now. This is the first time they've been behind.
It's a situation where we'll get a chance to see the maturity of the Seattle team, Coach. Right now, they should respond just as Tarkenton has responded. Take their time, use their game plan, don't rush it. Use a lot of poise here.
From their own 36, it's 2nd and 5 for the Hawks. They have Ferguson wide left, Largent wide right. Tight end Howard on the right side. Testerman and Smith, the running back. Here comes a play-action fake to Smith, then a pass to Smith, but he had his back turned on it, and a lot of heat supplied by Doug Sutherland of Minnesota.
As we look at this, there seems to be a mix-up in assignments.
Well, Sutherland beat his man to the inside. Zorn did the best thing he could, just get rid of it.
Sherman Smith first, number 47, he's coming out. Might be because of that mix-up. First he let Sutherland get by, and then he didn't turn around.
Then he didn't turn. That's exactly what I was talking about, Vinny.
And Jack Patera is going to show him the playbook.
Yes.
3rd and 5 from the 36. Largent in a slot right inside Ferguson. Rabel is wide left. Zorn looking for Sims, and he's got him, and he is belted by Nate Wright. No reception. Nate Wright just jarred the ball loose from David Sims.
Well, the Vikings defense has stopped them cold on the first 2 series of the third quarter.
All of a sudden now, the flavor and momentum has changed, and it really started on that bad kickoff by Seattle. It gave Minnesota good field position. They were able to get on the boards as the half ran out, and they immediately came out breathing fire to take a lead. Herman Weaver will be punting from his 25-yard line. Kevin Miller all alone on the Minnesota 25. Dropping back, Tom Hannon to block. And Weaver hangs it high. Miller coming up to the 30-yard line, makes the reception at the 30, and is he ever belted by Boyd. Oh, number 68, Dennis Boyd, 6'6", 255. He really put the wood to him. It's 21-19 Minnesota.
Introducing Hertz takeoff rates. Save up to 35% on the average weekday rental when you take off Thursday through Sunday for a minimum of 2 to 3 days. Take off in a subcompact for only $13.95 a day. Paramount's $15.95. Granada $17.95. Thunderbird's $21.95 a day. All with no charge for mileage. There are some restrictions, so check with Hertz. Take off next weekend with Hertz low takeoff rates.
this has been Scully along with George Allen and Jim Brown. 5:35 to go in the third quarter. 21-19 Vikings, who at one stage were down 13-0. Talking about scores, Dallas starting to loosen up now, leading the Giants 21-3 in the third quarter. And San Diego rolling in high gear for Don Coryell, 17-0 over Denver in the third. 1st and 10 on the Viking 37. Sammy White in a slot left, and it's a give to Ricky Young, and Beeson finally grabbed him by the waist, and then the rest of the boys, Bill Gregory among others, coming up. Terry Beeson, number 58.
Ricky Young is very tentative here. Of course, that means that the defense is playing well. It's a flying tackle, which basically holds Ricky behind the line. Not much to say about that particular play. Good defense.
No hole to run. No place to go.
Nowhere to go.
2nd and 9 from the 38. Sammy White right. Ahmad Rashad left. Young and Miller the running backs with Sammy White in motion. Tarkington looking right and unloads it to Bob Tucker. He was there, handled one-on-one by Keith Butler.
Well, this type of a play, a sprint out, where he dumps it off to the tight end. Nobody's forcing Tarkington. No pressure on him, and they're also not covering Tucker.
What happens is you put the defense in a no-man situation. In other words, they're not charging and they're not really covering.
3rd and 1. The ball on the 46-yard line of Minnesota, and the Vikings leading 21-19. 4:53 to go in the third. Craig is in there now along with Tucker and Voigt. They have 3 tight ends, and Robert Miller battling just shy of midfield, but he has enough for the first down.
What Tarkington likes to do in this situation, Jim, is go in a quick count so nobody is too taut and jumping offside.
That was a good run by Miller because the defensive line basically submarine. They all charged low. There was a lot of pileups that he couldn't have gotten through, so he picked his hole really well there.
They've changed the momentum here, Vinny, definitely.
1st and 10 on the Minnesota 49. They started on their own 37, and Tarkington just trying to nibble away. Brand going to take a big bite this time, however, to Ricky Young, who appeared to recover and fumble. No good.
To me.
And it was Ralph Moorcroft, the umpire, who said no complete pass.
Now let me point out something, Vinny and Coach. In the National Football League, very seldom will a referee call this a fumble.
That's, in my book, that's a fumble. He had the ball.
The umpire was right there, Ralph Moorcroft. It was his call, and of course they're very angry, although you wouldn't know it looking at Jack Patera.
They have certain policies, Vinny, that they follow. Very seldom do they ever call this a fumble. They usually always call it an incompleted pass.
See, he started to run with the ball.
He caught the ball and took one step downfield when Butler hit him. However, it's history. 2nd and 10, Tarkington under some heat throws it away to Robert Miller, and just to make sure Miller will always remember it, Pete Cronin comes over and tried to bury him, number 57.
Well, this type of play gives Tarkington the option of throwing it away. It's safe.
Well, that was a big play and a very frustrating play. Seattle unable to recover the momentum for the moment.
Flag down, Vinny.
And Pete Cronin, along with Bill Gregory, out there huddling with the officials, and it would appear to be against Seattle. And suddenly there's a leak in the roof here. Let's hear from Fred Silva.
Defense, number 22, illegal contact.
That's Dave Brown, who has had a very tough day in the secondary for Seattle.
That's the new rule.
Now, this is a very key moment for a coach. Patera has got to be able to keep these guys emotionally high. They're still in this ball game, but they're starting to walk around a little bit with their head down.
The last series.
4:05 in the third quarter, 21-19 Minnesota. They have 1st and 10 on the Seattle 46. Tarkington giving to Miller, who comes back, and is he ever tied up? Because Goodrum couldn't handle Bill Sandifer, and that stacked it all up. Watch number 68, Goodrum, and he just can't mudge his man. There he's pushed Goodrum out of the way, and Sandifer is able to jam up Robert Miller. Good play by Bill Sandifer.
Both players using their hands.
Yes, using their hands, keeping that position.
Bill Sandifer was a first-round draft choice of the San Francisco 49ers back in '74. but he was on the injured reserve last year. 5-year man out of UCLA. Whoops, talking about UCLA. The Rams now leading San Francisco 24-10 in the third. Tarkenton rolling right, throws to Mark Keller. And Keller gets to the 40 and is knocked out of bounds at the 39-yard line.
Fran Tarkenton.
He still has about a couple of yards for a first down, however.
That was a Johnny Unitas style pass. In other words, you can throw it slow, you can throw it fast, you throw it long, you throw it short. That's what I call experience.
And high, because Ernie Price is 6'4", and he just did get it over Price's outstretched hand.
You know, Jim, when we were getting ready to play the Vikings, we would spend all week defensing, sprint outs, rollouts, the short passing game, and this is what he's killing Seattle with.
3rd and 3 from the Seattle 39. Again, rolling right. This time Miller is looking for the ball, so he gets it. And he's knocked out of bounds, and he also picked up the first down. That's so easy.
It's like playing touch.
I'll tell you what else it does, Vinny. It makes the defensive men very tired to be chasing him all over the place. They hate that. When I used to play in the Pro Bowl game, they said they hated targeting him because they got so tired running after the guy.
Well, Robert Miller isn't getting tired of handling the ball, and Tarkenton now has passed for 230 yards. A little here and a little there. He's completed 21 out of 30. 1st and 10 on the Seattle 31. 3:10 to go in the third, and it's 21-19 Minnesota. Tark going straight back this time, looking left, and he's got Ricky Young, and he's tripped up by Butler, but he's still going. He got by Brown and got all the way down to the 20-yard line. Great effort. John Harris finally brought him down.
Looking at it from the end zone, you'll see what I call attitude. Right now, the Vikes are on the move. Ricky Young refuses to go down. The great balance, the determination. This is why you don't want to let a team like the Vikings get the momentum away from you.
Frustrating for Dave Brown and Keith Butler. They each had him, and he got away. So 1st and 10 to the Seattle 20, and the Vikes now are starting to smell the end zone. Tark rolling right, going to throw it to Robert Miller again, and he gets away from Webster. And he got inside the 15, and we're seeing some poor Seattle tackling.
Vinny, you're seeing a master at work with a short passing game, mixing rollouts, sprint outs, drop back passes.
But look at the tackling, George.
Yes.
Sure, the passes are working, but no hitting.
Vinny, you're absolutely right.
That's right.
It's about a young team. It's about a team that when they get behind after having great first half, they sort of put their heads down, and they don't have that same positive attitude.
I mean, Tarkenton is great. That isn't even a subject of discussion. But Seattle is not playing well.
This drive, a lot of sloppy tackling. No question about it. High tackling.
2nd and 2 from the 12. McClanahan is in there now with Robert Miller, and it'll be Robert Miller and a quick burst across the 10-yard line.
Good call. 2nd and 2, get the first down.
Well, they got it. Boyd and Butler finally slowed him down.
Cross blocking.
So it'll be 1st and goal.
Used to love it. Had a special way of running it. You run towards one of the men and set him up, and then you break off.
There's Jim Zorn along with Lynch and Rabel looking on, watching 18-year veteran Fran Tarkenton on a cruise. Started on the Viking 37. 1st and goal from the 9. Tark looking in the end zone to the right side, and he's got his man. A touchdown to Sammy White, and he beat Cornell Webster.
Comeback pass, throw to the sidelines, perfectly executed. All right, looking at him all the way, drills it in there, and he comes back for the ball.
Right in the arms of the fans.
Perfect. Tough to defense.
Cornell Webster, who did not start, Keith Simpson did, and Webster having a rough afternoon, a 2-year man out of Tulsa. So now Dan Meyer trying to make it 28-19, and he's equal to the task. So we have 59 seconds to go in the third quarter, and the entire complexion and momentum of the game has changed. It has suddenly become all Minnesota. 28-19 Vikings. 59 seconds to go in the third.
Here's 100 years of tradition coming at you.
Here comes the king. Here comes the king. Here comes the big number 1. Here comes the king. Budweiser beer, the king is second to none. When you say Bud, the king is coming. Let's hear the call. When you say Bud, you said it all. When you say Bud, you said it all.
28-19 Minnesota as Mike Wood ready to kick with Hunter and Rufus Crawford both deep. And it will be Mr. Crawford. He's been busy today to the 15, 20, 25. Upended by John Turner, number 27 of Minnesota. And Rufus hurls his way to about the 28-yard line. A couple of scores we can duck in. Pittsburgh 31, Atlanta 7, a final. New England 24, Philadelphia 14, final. Washington almost upset. Turned the card on Detroit anyway, 21-19. New York Jets chewed up Buffalo 45-14, a final. And 24-14 Green Bay over Chicago. 1st and 10 on the Seattle 28. And Zorn has to recapture some momentum now as he goes strong and hard to McCullum across the 40-yard line. Nate Wright knocking him down. First down for Seattle at the 42-yard line.
This is their first down. It's a good opening play. Going to his reliable receiver coming over the middle. They have to score to get back in the ball game now.
The 1st and 10. The ball on the Seattle 42. We have 24 seconds left to go in the third. Largent, who hasn't touched the ball today, is wide left. Ferguson wide right. Howard, the tight end, on the left side. And it'll be a play-action fake, and Zorn going over to Largent. So he finally touched it, and Bobby Bryant grabs him by the jersey, drags him down at the Viking 45, first down.
Coach, now let's take a look at this. You said something about tearaway jerseys. You don't like them. In this situation, Largent has a chance to maybe get away, go for a touchdown. He is tackled by the jersey.
Well, I don't say I don't like him. I like a tearaway jersey that...
Well, we have to tear away, gentlemen, at the end of the third quarter with the score Minnesota 28 and Seattle 19. We pause for a word from your local station. Since you're talking about in Minnesota, Seattle trying to move now. 1st and 10 on the Viking 45-yard line. Steve Largent had caught 24 passes coming into this game. That's the first time he's touched the ball today. McCullum left, Largent right. And Zorn is looking left, can't find his man, and he's going to run. He's being chased by Sutherland and Blair, and Matt Blair pushes him out of bounds, and he has a hurdle to team bench. You fellas were talking about tearaway jerseys.
Well, my point is that I don't want a jersey that tears so easy that I have one of my star players and I'm changing 4 or 5 jerseys a game and he's on the sidelines.
There's the situation.
First of all, if I have a defensive back that's tackling like that, that guy's going to be sitting on a bench.
Bobby Bryant,
I want him to
hear him?
I don't want him to be tackling, no, but I don't want a good guy keep putting on a new jersey and out of the ball game when it might cost us the championship.
Well, the league has voted.
The league agrees with you, I think, George.
Good 2nd and 7 on the Viking 42. Zorn getting rushed. Settles down the left side. No good. The pass intended for McCullum, and Nate Wright, who has been a key to the defensive situation for the Vikings, broke it up. 3rd and 7. A couple of more scores to bring you up to date. A final score, Tampa Bay winning big over Kansas City 30-13. And Cleveland upended New Orleans 24-16. And yet another final. Baltimore pulled the pintail feathers out of the Cardinals 30-17. 3rd and 7 from the 42. Zorn trying to recover some momentum as McCullum right and Largent goes in a slot. Rabel wide left. And Zorn going down the left side, and it is intercepted by Bobby Bryant. He's at the 30 and down to the 31. So Bryant heard you talk about how you would bench him on that tackle. So he comes in and comes up with the interception.
The ball was throwing just a little behind. If he let him more, he was open. Now watch this. Great play by Bryant. See that?
So Bobby Bryant, 10-year man out of South Carolina, picks it off, and it's still 28-19 Minnesota.